Welcome back, everybody. First of all, I just wanted to give a huge thank you to everybody who's been so great and awesome in supporting this particular series. Now, I just discovered something that I didn't know before, and it might help us. I'm not going to promise it will. Might help us get a victory here. Now, that is, if we snag, for instance, Stark's unit over here, this infantry unit, and we drag that infantry unit and drop it into the first corps, boom, he now becomes part of that first corps army, and that's really great. So that's going to help us in our future battles. I want to take a look here. We've got some decent cannons. We've got some decent infantry. I'd like to get some skirmishers in there, but at the same time, we don't have too many. So I'm going to take Hovey skirmishers, put them in the first corps, and right now the only bad thing, the only negative aspect is that a lot of our units in that first corps army are essentially going to now be part of the second corps. Part of that second corps are going to be part of the first corps army, and I'm hoping this is going to allow us to win the next battle. So our next battle is going to be the Great Battle of Manassas.
So our latest
Depot.
reports speak about a massive federal supply depot at Manassas Junction,
luck.
guarded by a small garrison. You will lead General Trimble's brigade as regiments have taken positions in the woods and are ready to commence the assault before daybreak. More reinforcements are on the way to support you if needed. Well, hell, I mean, that's pretty great, I'm thinking. We finally get a nice amount of support. And we lead General Trimble's regiments. It's definitely going to be nighttime. It's one of my first, or I should say, few battles at night. We've got to attack and capture the supply depot. There's only a small garrison present, but the Federal Army is spread out in the wider area, so you should expect their reaction. Of course, I don't think that this is going to be as simple as just walking over. General Jubilee Early is marching to support you in case of a counterattack. Beautiful, guys. It's a little hard to see for me, to be honest with you. I'm trying to kill the glare here in the room, but that's kind of going to be a little difficult. So our raid is going to shift their attention north away from our capital. That would really help us big time. But a lot of these troops, as you can see over here, this looks like our 2nd Brigade. And now suddenly we're in a position where we're using our not so strong brigade to try and force a change here. But we're going to move up forward anyway and hope for the absolute best. Obviously, a lot of these guys are down to 150 men, 648 men, really not a lot. And this is Trimble's brigade, so there's really not many men in this brigade, which I would say are, I don't want to say worth using, but they're just not very strong, let's be honest. This is a weakened army, and we're going to do our absolute best to take the supply depot. And take it quickly. Somebody made some pretty cool points before about how I think with the last battle, if we had had those cannons a little bit closer at Cedar Mountain, we may have gotten a victory. And I think it's probably a good point. Our cannons were firing a round shot. If we had them just maybe 10, 20 feet closer, they would have been firing shell shot at the federal positions, and that could have been enough. I'm not saying it would have been, but it could have been enough to really send them reeling. So here we go. We got Chamberlain, a few cavalry, and there we go. We got First Blood, of course, with the North Carolina Sharpshooter Brigade. Really good shots there, and we're just going to try and set these guys up in a sort of offensive formation, I guess you could say, and try and take these depots from the enemy. I obviously want to keep General Trimble back here. I don't need him getting shot. And look at that. We've even got a nice marksman area that I'm sure the Federals have used. I'm thinking, we're looking here, there's a lot of woods to our north, so I'm going to be moving into those woods. Hopefully not getting hit by any sort of flanking fire, although I wouldn't be surprised if we do get hit. I'm going to try to take another shot at Chamberlain here with our sharpshooters. And really, just any shot we can get on these guys is going to be helpful. They're still using the Hunter long rifle. It's pretty much the, I don't want to say the worst rifle, the lowest ranked rifle for a sharpshooter brigade. But it is what it is. We're going to take the 2nd Virginia over here and try and hit them. But it looks like they're going to move back pretty quickly. Understandable, of course. And we're going to try to capture that first supply depot. So it looks like no matter what we do, we are going to have to approach from the woods. I'm going to try to approach this way, so we're just going to go ahead. We're going to move forward and try to take these positions, and I really hope that Jubilee Early shows up with his men. We definitely need a victory here, at the very least a draw, because our last 2 battles, one was a draw, one was a defeat. We've got to change that and turn that around. So here we go. We're going to move forward with our 6th Virginia Cavalry, and it looks like the 1st Ohio and a few skirmisher units are here waiting for us. So we want to drive them away from this position, and it does look like they have a pretty strong position over here, believe it or not. And we're going to try to totally break that. And I'd love to attack with my cavalry. I'm thinking that's what I might do. But before I start attacking with my cavalry units, I'm going to get a few more shots with my infantry and hope to God that Jubilee Early shows up, and shows up pretty damn quickly. Colonel Thomas Munford is wounded. I don't believe he's our colonel anyway. He belongs to Trimble's brigade. So I'm going to hope that that doesn't cause us too much damage. But of course, I'm going to continue opening fire on these units. In fact, I'm going to send the 6th Virginia to charge that skirmisher unit. Come on, boys. Let's do it. He's going to run. Gives us a little more time to plan our attack, I should say. I'm going to move the 21st North Carolina over here, too. And we're just going to keep peppering this area with as much shot as possible. I don't think we're going to be doing any charges, but already we're doing some pretty decent charges with the 6th Virginia. Unfortunately, look at that. Pretty good reactionary fire there from the men in the 2nd Fort. So we do need to be careful. Bring forward the 21st Virginia. Trimble is back there trying to help our men, of course. But at this point, I'm thinking that what we really need is we need those reinforcements to really push the advantage. Although the 12th Ohio are taking some pretty nasty hits. So let's take the 2nd Virginia over here and see if we can't do some damage here. And there we go. Jubilee Early is arriving. Jubilee Early is probably my favorite Confederate general. He's just a really, really good fighter, in my opinion. He got a plate broken over his head at West Point, and maybe that's what makes him such a decent general. You know, he sort of got his ass kicked, and maybe learned a few lessons. So we're gonna keep moving forward here, and of course, this army as well is not really that strong. But I'm thinking if we overwhelm this force with Trimble's force, and just keep hitting the 12th Ohio, pretty sure we're gonna break through. At this point, I'm not in any position to want to charge or anything like that. I might even bring my sharpshooters forward just to get a few more shots off. Bring the 12th Georgia over here and the 6th Virginia as well. Eventually, I might send in a few groups to go ahead and try to get some shots off or charge even this position. But for now, we're going to play it pretty safe. We got a lot of skirmisher units here. We still got a few of those cavalry units that could definitely pose a threat. I'm going to keep Jubilee Early back here. Last thing I need is for him to get hit. Major Wharton is wounded, and Colonel Thomas Flournoy is killed. My goodness. You must excuse me, guys, if you hear me coughing. I do have a cold. I hope it's just a cold, of course. At this point, you're going to definitely hear some congestion, some coughing, and for that, I do apologize. I'm doing my best to avoid it. I'm going to take the 2nd Virginia Cavalry. I'm going to try to get a flanking shot here on these skirmisher units. In fact, I'm even going to take the 12th Georgia, and I'm going to try to get a nice volley off on these units. Boom! Already those skirmishers are getting hit pretty hard. Beautiful. Keep it up, boys. Keep it up. Keep hitting them skirmishers. More Union troops spotted. Well, tell me it ain't so. And of course, the 30th Ohio approaching there. We're going to go ahead and try and hit the 30th Ohio before they get to the actual fort. But if not, we're still going to attack this fort head on. We've got enough men, I think, now to push an assault. We're going to bring forward the Louisiana Guard artillery units so that they can get some much closer shots here on the enemy units. So there we go. It looks like those skirmishers are in some trouble. I'd like to get one more volley off, show them we mean business. But you could definitely see here a lot of Union troops approaching this fort and trying to make their presence known, especially the 30th Ohio. So let's see if the Georgia boys can get a shot on them. Give them hell, boys. There we go. Another shot on these guys, and I think we could break them. They're going to try to charge our position here, of course. I'm going to bring forward our 6th Virginia, and it actually looks like our Georgia boys are doing a great job here for routing the 30th Ohio. So I'm going to send in our cavalry to charge. I'm also going to send the North Carolina to charge, and we're even going to send the Alabama boys to go ahead and charge once again. They did manage to rout one of our units, so we do need to be careful here. A lot of New York units are hanging out by the fort. We want to make sure to just bombard this area with everything we've got. Come on, boys. Let's get this victory. Come on. Let's go, 25th Virginia. There we go. It's a bunch of damn skirmishers. What difference does it make? Okay, some crazy melee stuff going on up here. I hate to admit it, but it does look like our boys were forced back here pretty strongly by the Ohio men. I'm going to try to move Trimble back so he doesn't get peppered. And we're going to bring the 2nd Virginia Cavalry forward to also try and do some damage here to the Federals. So here we go. We're already firing on the Federal units. I'm going to be bringing the Virginia boys up as well. I'm going to be bringing our 13th over here, and I'm really going to try to get this artillery like right up on top of the enemy so that we can bombard them with shell shot. Come on, let's go, let's go. Come on, boys. Don't let them beat you here, for God's sake. All right. Get some shots off. Bring the 21st Georgia forward. Come on, y'all. All right, I think this is pretty good. There we go. The New York boys are trying to break us out of here once again. I'm hoping that they don't have the ability to do that. There's definitely a lot of Union men over here, no doubt about it. Come on, man. I'm going to bring Jubilee early forward, and it does look like we're firing some shell shot at those Ohio boys and at the New York guys here inside the actual fort. Now, a lot of them are leaving the fort ostensibly to attack us and deal some close combat damage. And considering the fact they've got all these skirmishers over here, I mean, they might succeed. They're in a pretty decent position. Colonel William Smith is killed. We can't be losing colonels like that. But then again, there's very little we can do about it. So I'm going to bring the Virginia boys, see if I can hit them New York men. And, of course, keep bombarding and smashing the Ohio boys. They're out in the open. We've got some decent cover, some fairly decent cover in any case, and I think we should push that to our advantage. So there we go. Look at that. Make sure that our artillery is focusing on the New York infantry and hopefully getting some nice shots on them. There we go. Smash the New York. Yes. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Got to keep hitting them. A lot of dead Federals there. Colonel James Walker is wounded. What else is new? I mean, it's almost like they get wounded every second. Lost a lot of commanders here. Luckily, not all these guys. I think very few of these guys are my actual men, or my actual commanders. Most of them are part of Jubilee Early and Trimble's brigade. But, of course, I do want to bring a lot of them forward again. Come on, hit them New York, boys. You can do it. Boom! That's what I'm talking about. 15th Alabama. There we go, 31st Virginia, and it does look like the New York boys are going to pull back here pretty soon. But I don't want them coming back. One more shell shot there. Finally routed them. I mean, that took a while, but it finally worked. Let's go ahead and get the Virginia boys here to engage the 30th Ohio, maybe getting a flanking shot. Keep moving forward. Eventually, we're going to have to push. So I'm going to grab these guys, and I'm going to start pushing. You know, I'd love to sit back and just shoot the entire time. It's not going to happen, and I'm actually concerned that we're not going to have time to take that second depot. But if we can take the first, maybe we can secure at least a draw in this battle. Come on, Virginia. Do it for your homeland, boys. Boom. Nice. Unfortunately, the actual leader of this brigade is dead. Killed in action. So he's not going to stand very long to essentially a bunch of Federal fire. It's just not going to last very long. You know, obviously these guys lose a lot of morale when they lose a commander. They don't have somebody to push them forward. They might have some, you know, some extra commanders that can try to get the job done. But in general, these guys are used to really relying on that one leader. So here we go. We're moving in. I mean, I'm moving in as quickly as I can. I want to make sure Trimble's back here. I'm going to move the 21st Georgia forward. Come on, son. Move in. Move in. Move in, 13th Virginia. I really wanted to avoid any sort of charges here, but starting to look like that might be exactly what we need to do. I think if we charge this position right now, for instance, we could probably take it. The problem is those charges, as you guys could imagine, cost a lot of men's lives, and you know, they could either succeed or they could fail miserably. I'm going to try to hit Taylor. It looks like he's blocked, and it's probably because the 21st New York is in the way, but I'm going to keep on moving into this fort. I think we can take it. 15th Alabama, give them New York boys hell. Show them Yankees we mean business. Let's get early up here as well. Yes, we're putting them in a dangerous position, but we don't have a lot of time left to take this area. So here we go. 13th Virginia. And the Georgia. Smash those New York boys. Show them we mean business. There we go. Let's see if somebody can get a shot off on Taylor. That would be beautiful to kill one of their main generals, or at least get him off the battlefield. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, though, so I'm going to focus my shots here on the infantry. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. We're even going to take defensive positions here. We secured the first supply depot. Although that's not yet a victory. Just means we've secured it. It's still being contested. I'm going to try to get a shot on Taylor. Come on, let's do this. Yeah, baby. Got some more men approaching here. There we go. Those Yankees are running. Oh, they're running for sure. We're going to take some of these men, particularly the ones that just got here, and keep engaging the New York boys. And we're going to grab these guys. And we're going to try to head south to take that second supply depot. It's not going to be easy, guys. It's not going to be easy, but at least we're going to try. Move our Georgia boys up. In fact, I'll put our Georgia boys here in defense. The North Carolina fellows, they can move up and keep defending this area, hopefully. Hopefully, being a big hopefully. All right. Here we go. Got them New York men right there. Gonna try to hit them with everything we got. There's no reason to take these cannons out of here, I don't think. I could take one and move them over there, but I'm thinking we're gonna play it cool right now. All right, here we go. Hit those New York boys. Come on. There's no reason to retreat, boy. Now I'm going to take early and send them back up there to provide some moral support for the men. I'm also going to send these cannons forward because they could do damage, but they could do a hell of a lot more damage right up there on the enemy's ass. And you can see a lot of enemies over here moving into position. So I'm going to actually take my my Alabama and just prepare for what could be a very serious slaughter. In fact, the Louisiana Guard are getting themselves into a nice position here. North Carolina, I'm going to have them react to the Ohio. And I'm going to take the Maryland artillery. Is that Maryland? No way. There's no way the Maryland fought for the South. Could be wrong. We're going to send them over there as well and try to get them set up in such a position that they can get some shell shot off of the enemy. All right, here we go. We got the 70th New York. I mean, it's all up to you guys. It really is. We got 27 seconds. Well, a little more than 27 seconds, but barely. And, I mean, we've got to try to take this position. It does look like the enemy is still trying to take the depot back. We're doing a good job at keeping them at bay. But we got to do even better. See if the artillery can fire over here from the confines of the fort. It might be asking a little too much. And look at that. Our boys are already on top of the 70 New York. You better bet I'm going to charge. I'm going to bring Trimble forward. This is a glorious Confederate charge. Come on, Trimble. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know why I had to sing the song myself, but sure enough, these guys have got to get this victory. We got 3 brigades charging in on the 70 New York. Look at them all coming in from all the sides of the fort. This is our opportunity to get a true victory. It's contested, but can it be contested for much longer? It's not going to be contested if they start fighting back with everything they've got. We've got to beat them in this charge. And right now, they're holding on, just barely. Now, once we get here, we're going to have a nice flanking shot on the remainder of the Federal Army. And there we go, guys. I think that's going to be Capture Supply Depot 2. We got it. We got it, boys. Now, of course, we've got to focus on the remainder of the men. I'm going to put one of these guys in defense here. Just basically hold the area. And the rest of them, I'm just going to need them to hang over here, hang by the fort, and not let the Federals take it back. Those cannons are getting some great shots, but if you just see all the Federal bodies over here on this battle, and also, I mean, all the Rebel bodies, this has been a vicious fight. And considering this was supposed to be kind of a small engagement of just us taking some undefended forts, it got a lot nastier than I expected. All right, Trimble, get your ass over here, son. Those Ohio boys coming back for more. Give them hell. Nice flanking shot. Beautiful. Bring forward the North Carolina as well. And our supplies, I think it's probably not a bad idea to send these guys here. Give ammo to the guys that are right now on the field. I mean, they could definitely still take back this area. But we're getting some nice flanking shots on them. So there we go. The New York boys are advancing. Before we go for those other New York guys, I'm going to try to hit these guys to get a flank shot. It does look like we're going to get a pretty good volley on them. Well, they just barely managed to hold their ground. Now I'm going to, of course, try and focus on these New York men. And heck, we might need to send some more infantry units south to hold this area. I hope the 13th Virginia can finish. And there we go. That is a finish of victory, guys. Oh, beautiful. Take a look at those losses there. That was a victory we absolutely needed at Manassas Depot. Does look like the 12th Ohio did get more kills than any of our men, and we did lose William Smith, but I don't think he's actually part of our army. We also got some nice rifles. So now I wonder what happens. What's left? Of course, now we've got to try and upgrade some of our army. Now that we know how to upgrade our main force, that's definitely cool, but we've got other divisions we need to upgrade too, and we don't have a whole lot of men to add to these divisions. So for Colquitt, I'm absolutely going to be adding some veteran units. We just want to make sure that these guys have everything they need. More veteran units, 38K to get those veterans, by the way. And even more veterans over here with Alabak's brigade at 25,000 just for some veterans. I mean, that's rough. I think you guys would admit that. We still got these units over here. I'll go ahead and boost McLean with some vets. But it looks like we may have just hit our maximum here. I'll try to go for rookies. In this case, it might just be a lack of Springfields. But we're still down to 581 men. Try to get some guys in our skirmisher brigade. And maybe even some veterans in our artillery brigades. But of course, if you guys are taking a look at the amount of money we're spending on this, it's pretty significant. We've got a career point here. I'm going to add it to economy. We've wanted to do that for a while now. And hopefully in our next battle, we're going to be getting some pretty awesome support. Our next battle is going to be Second Bull Run, which I believe, I may be mistaken, is a loss for the Confederacy. But if we can win here, we're going to be getting 11,000 reinforcements, and we're going to be moving north, which is exactly where we want to go. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have an awesome, awesome day, and don't forget to hit that like button, share, subscribe, etc.